Welcome to Moldova. Did you know that Moldova is the least visited country in Europe? Only about 11,000 tourists visit every year. That is a whole country tucked away, almost hidden from the usual travel maps. Imagine walking through a place where most people have never been. The locals greet you with warmth, and every corner tells a story. Travelers who do make it here often fall in love and keep coming back again and again. Here, rolling hills meet charming villages, and centuries-old monasteries rise quietly among vineyards and forests. The air feels different, peaceful, untouched, almost magical. So, what makes Moldova so special? Why do so few people know about it, yet those who visit cannot help but return? Stay with me as we uncover the hidden gems of this secret European treasure. You will soon wonder why no one told you about Moldova before. More than 7,000 years ago, one of the world's first advanced farming cultures, the Cucuteni Tripilian people, settled along the banks of the Dniester. Their villages could hold up to 15,000 people, making them some of the largest communities in the ancient world. They built their homes with clay and timber and organized streets in circular patterns, showing impressive planning skills for that time. The Dniester River provided fresh water, fish, and fertile soil, allowing these early farmers to thrive. In ancient Greece, the river was called Tyras, meaning rapid, because of its fast-flowing waters that carried goods and travelers. During the Middle Ages, the Dniester became part of the border of the Principality of Moldavia, marking territories and trade routes. In the 20th century, It was a front line in conflicts during World War II, with armies crossing its banks and bridges being destroyed. The river flows through Ukraine and Moldova, passing high hills on one side and flat plains on the other, creating diverse landscapes. Every year, people in Moldova celebrate Dniester Day to honor the river's history and its importance to local communities. Now, before we move on to the next destination, here's a fun question for you. Which country borders Moldova to the west? Comment your answer. Did you know one valley in Moldova contains traces of almost every major civilization that passed through Eastern Europe? The old Orhei Historical and Archaeological Complex holds remains from the Paleolithic, Neolithic, and Iron Age, making it a rare open-air archive of human history. Here, the Ghetto Dacians built fortresses between the 6th and 1st centuries BC, before the Golden Horde established their 14th century stronghold called Sher al-Jadid. Later, Moldavian rulers constructed stone forts that guarded the Răut River corridor through the 14th to 16th centuries. The caves carved into the limestone cliffs were adapted into Orthodox monasteries, with inscriptions from the 1690s still visible on their walls. The twisting Răut River created natural defenses, while fertile soils and springs supported steady life. Its position along the Dniester trade routes linked the site to the Black Sea and made it a vital hub for exchange. The amphitheater-like cliffs rise as high as 148 meters, forming a landscape both beautiful and strategic. Old Orhei is not just a scenic valley, but a living record of how nature and history shaped Moldova. If you are watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Duruitoarea Veche Gorge is a natural reserve in Rishkani district, northern Moldova, famous for its steep limestone cliffs and caves. The gorge lies along the left bank of the Răut River, part of the Răut River system, and belongs to the Răut Reefs geological series. Excavations in the cave have uncovered human habitation dating back 250,000 to 300,000 years, including stone and bone tools. Archaeologists also found ornaments, animal bones from bison, rhinoceros, and mammoth, and a fragment of a human jaw with 6 teeth. The surrounding forests and river valleys host diverse wildlife, making the area valuable for ecology and outdoor activities. Visitors can hike through the gorges, explore caves, observe birds, and photograph landscapes in the region. Duruitoarea Veche is about 200 kilometers from Moldova's southern border and accessible by road from Chișinău, making it an important site for both history and nature tourism. The Răut River is 286 kilometers long and is the largest tributary of the Dniester that flows entirely within Moldova. It begins at Rediul Mare village in Butuceni district and joins the Dniester near Ustia in Duruitoarea district. The river basin spans the Dniester and central Moldavian plateaus, covering hills, valleys, and canyon-shaped ravines. Cities along the route include Balci, Florești, and Orhei, where the river supports agriculture, fish farming, and domestic water needs. What if I told you that Moldova has its own Switzerland with cliffs, forests, and valleys shaped by nature over thousands of years? The Fetești Reserve, often called the Little Switzerland of Moldova, stretches across 555 hectares of protected land. The Dniester River sculpted a winding gorge here, leaving limestone walls that rise 200 to 300 meters high. These cliffs, known locally as Totre, appear only in Moldova and Ukraine, giving the reserve a landscape found nowhere else. Caves and grottos cut into the stone walls add depth to the scenery and a sense of discovery for visitors. Forests of downy oak and turkey oak cover the slopes, sheltering more than 160 species of plants. Among them grow rare flowers and shrubs, such as dwarf almond, spotted tulip, and honeysuckle. The scenery often reminds travelers of Switzerland, but here the charm lies in its smaller scale and untouched character. For Moldovans, the little Switzerland is a place to see dramatic geology and quiet forests in harmony. Have you visited this spot? Comment 1 if you have, 2 if you want to go. Did you know that Dendrarium Park in Chișinău houses some of the rarest trees in the world? Spanning 83 hectares, Dendrarium Park acts as the lungs of the city, filtering pollution while offering a peaceful escape. Its winding paths lead through over 1,800 different plant species, each carefully cultivated since the 1950s. Among these, 9 species belong to the National Red Book, making Dendrarium a living museum of endangered flora. Visitors can admire trees that have survived centuries, like the ginkgo biloba, whose lineage traces back 200 million years. The layout of Dendrarium Park was designed not just for aesthetics, but also to create microclimates where rare plants thrive naturally. Protected since 1998, Dendrarium Park isn't just a collection of trees, it's a vital heritage site preserving Moldova's natural treasures. Few people know that one of Chișinău's most beloved parks was created almost entirely by hand in the 1950s. Valea Morilor Park was established in 1950 at the initiative of Leonid Brezhnev and designed under the supervision of architect Robert Kurtz. The lake at its heart, covering 34 hectares, was dug by thousands of young volunteers armed only with shovels. In the early years, it was named the Central Park of Culture and Rest of the Leninist Komsomol and covered about 114 hectares. Around the lake, a 2.5-kilometer ring-shaped promenade was laid out, making it a popular walking route. During Soviet times, the park hosted rowing schools, ice skating on the frozen lake, and even parachute jumps from a special tower. After Moldova's independence, the site was renamed Valea Morilor, meaning Valley of Mills. Today, it remains a symbol of both hard work and community spirit. We gather info from many sources. See something off or want to add? Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Chișinău, the capital of Moldova, is also the country's largest city and main economic hub. Nearly 1/3 of Moldova's people live in the metro area, making it the heart of daily life. The city sits on the Beached River, a small tributary of the Dniester, right in the middle of the country. During World War II and later earthquakes, many buildings were damaged, yet much of its architecture survived. Visitors can still find a mix of old European designs, socialist realism, and brutalist styles across the streets. Every October, Chișinău hosts the National Wine Festival, celebrating Moldova's 5,000-year winemaking tradition. The city's name may come from Chișinău, meaning new spring, since it first grew around a small water source. Other theories connect the name to Hungarian tribes or even ancient Persian words, showing its complex history. Known in many languages, from Chișinău in Russian to Chișinău in German, the city carries many identities, but stands as Moldova's proud capital today. In the heart of Chișinău stands a figure who has never left Moldova's memory. The monument of Stephen the Great was unveiled in 1928, carved by architect Alexandru Plămădeala. It replaced an old statue of Russia's Alexander II, marking a shift in who Moldovans chose to honor. But this monument has never known peace. It has been moved, destroyed, rebuilt, and returned many times. Before Soviet troops arrived in 1940, it was taken away to Vaslui, leaving its pedestal blown apart. During World War II, it traveled again, carried back to Romania, before finally being restored in Chișinău in 1945. Even then, it wasn't until 1989 that it regained its original place, just as its creator intended. Today, flowers are laid at its base on every national holiday, a gesture of loyalty to the past. The statue is more than bronze and stone. It is the enduring spirit of Moldova's greatest ruler. The Chișinău City Hall was originally completed in 1901 to house the City Duma, designed by architects Mitrofan Eladi and Alexandru Bernardazzi. Its eclectic architecture blends Italian Renaissance with Gothic details, featuring a striking clock tower and ornate facades. World War II nearly erased it from the city's map, as it was first ruined in 1941 and then damaged again by bombings in 1944. The two-level building was designed on a square plan, with its facades aligned along the city's main boulevard. Today, Chișinău City Hall still functions as the seat of local administration, while also housing a tourist information center and shops with local designs. Țipova is a small village in the Lalova commune, part of Rezina district in Moldova. It lies about 100 kilometers north of Chișinău, surrounded by calm plateaus and river valleys. The village stands 150 to 200 meters above the Dniester River, right beside the dramatic Țipova Gorge. Țipova is best known for its stunning nature, with dramatic cliffs and hidden waterfalls. Few villages in Moldova carry a history that stretches from Polish nobility to Soviet republics, like Butuceni does. Once known as Butuceni, it was owned by the powerful Lubomirski family within the Kingdom of Poland. After the second partition of Poland in the late 18th century, the area was annexed by the Russian Empire. In the 19th century, Butuceni remained tied to Polish aristocrats, including the Grabowski and Lipkowski families. Between 1941 and 1944, the village fell under Romanian administration during the Transnistria Governorate. Since 1990, Butuceni has been administered by the self-proclaimed Pridnestrovian Moldavian Republic. Butuceni stands as a living record of Moldova's layered political past and resilient local identity. More than 180 years old, this cathedral is not just a church. It once had its own silver coin, minted in its honor. The Metropolitan Cathedral of Christ's Nativity is the main cathedral of the Moldovan Orthodox Church, standing in the center of Chișinău. It was built in the 1830s, designed in a neoclassical style by Russian architect Abram Melnikov. The cathedral's front is marked by 6 Doric columns, giving it a simple but elegant look. During World War II, the building was bombed, and in 1962 the communists destroyed its bell tower. In the Soviet years, worship was banned and the cathedral was turned into an exhibition hall. Religious services only returned in 1989, followed by a full restoration that lasted until 1996. A new bell tower and the zinc dome we see today were added in 1997. Inside, the walls that once stood bare during Soviet rule are now richly decorated again in Orthodox style. Government House was built in 1964 by architect Semyon Fridlin during the Soviet era. The 6-story complex, faced with white stone, follows the shape of the Russian letter P. Its size and symmetry made it one of the most striking post-war projects in the Moldovan SSR. Located on Stefan cel Mare Avenue, it dominates Great National Assembly Square. For decades, it served as the headquarters of the Council of Ministers under Soviet administration. After independence, it became the seat of the government of Moldova, with the national flag raised above its entrance. The Organ Hall in Chișinău was first built in the early 20th century as a financial building, not a concert hall. Its architecture mixes classical style with romantic touches, complete with a dome and sculptural groups that make the facade stand out. In the 1970s, conductor Timofey Gurtovoy proposed turning the old bank into a new concert hall with an organ inside. The reconstruction from 1975 to 1978 involved artists and specialists from across the Soviet Union. The Organ Hall is both a state-protected monument and the main stage for Moldova's classical music festivals. In Chișinău, a grand monument stands at the center of victory celebrations, the Triumphal Arch. Built in 1840, it commemorates Russia's victory over the Ottoman Empire during the Russo-Turkish War. Its white stone structure towers over the square, crowned with a clock that has marked the passage of time for generations. The arch features sculpted reliefs that honor soldiers, generals, and historical events that shaped Moldova's destiny. Unlike many arches that are part of city walls, this one stands alone, creating a striking visual landmark. During Soviet times, it witnessed parades, state ceremonies, and public gatherings that reflected the city's changing politics. Tourists often pause to admire the craftsmanship, from the precise stone carvings to the symbolic statues on top. The presidential palace in Chișinău sits on the site of a German Lutheran church from the 1830s, giving the location centuries of historical significance. Built between 1984 and 1987, it originally served as the seat of the Supreme Soviet of the Moldavian SSRR. In 1991, the palace hosted the signing of Moldova's Declaration of Independence, marking a turning point in the nation's history. During protests in April 2009, the building was damaged, reflecting the country's political unrest. Renovations in 2018 restored its grandeur, adding modern features while preserving historical details. The palace now includes a wine cellar, an artificial lake, and ceremonial halls used for national events. It has hosted presidents, foreign diplomats, and public celebrations that showcase Moldova's governance and culture. Guided tours allow citizens and journalists to see the palace's architecture, historical rooms, and artwork firsthand. The presidential palace stands as a living monument, representing Moldova's journey from Soviet rule to independence and modern democracy. High above the Dniester River, Saharna Monastery is famous for a footprint said to belong to Saint Maria, drawing pilgrims from all over. Founded in the 18th century, Saharna Monastery has been a refuge for monks and believers through centuries of upheaval. According to legend, a monk once witnessed a glowing figure on the cliff near Saharna, leaving behind the sacred footprint now venerated. The monastery complex was built carefully into the valley, blending stone structures with the natural cliffs surrounding Saharna. Early settlers repaired abandoned buildings at Saharna, restoring the monastery into a thriving spiritual center over decades. The architecture of Saharna remains simple yet powerful, with two main churches honoring both tradition and divine presence. Remote orchards, vineyards, and water mills supported the monastery's self-sufficiency, creating a serene and contemplative environment at Saharna. Nestled in the Drochia district, Pelinia is a testament to the strength of community and tradition. Once a quiet village, it has become a beacon of cultural revival. In 2018, Pelinia launched a handicraft center, bringing together 40 local artisans to preserve and promote traditional crafts. This initiative, supported by the government of Switzerland and UNDP, not only revives ancient skills, but also creates economic opportunities for the villagers. Pelinia stands as a model of resilience, showing how communities can thrive by embracing their heritage. The village's story is a reminder that even in the face of challenges, the spirit of tradition can lead the way forward. Whether you're a lover of history, culture, or community, Pelinia offers a journey into the heart of Moldova's soul. Fetești is one of the oldest villages in Dniester district, first appearing in documents at the end of the 15th century. The village was originally called Butuceni, and its history goes back to the time of Stephen the Great. Ownership of the village was contested for decades, involving families like the Ponici and Holubei, as well as state authorities. Historical deeds from 1606, 1621, and 1635 show how Butuceni changed hands through inheritance, grants, and marriages. In the 19th century, land disputes continued under new political regimes, involving merchants, free peasants, and the Peasants' Bank. Despite wars, famine, deportations, and collectivization, Fetești endured, carrying the stories and resilience of its people into the modern era. The Eternity Memorial Complex in Chișinău has held an eternal flame for nearly 50 years, honoring Soviet soldiers who died in World War II. The central monument is a pyramid of 5 25-meter stone rifles, each representing 1 year of the war. The complex was inaugurated on May 9, 1975, to mark the 30th anniversary of the Soviet victory. Sculptors A. Maiko and I. Poniatowski, along with architect A. Minayev, designed the structure to symbolize resilience and remembrance. A 5-pointed star with the eternal flame sits at the heart of the memorial, where wreath-laying ceremonies are held annually. The Moldovan army guards the site, with honor guards changing duty every hour in a solemn ritual. In 2006, the memorial was restored to mark the 62nd anniversary of the Second Jassy Chișinău offensive, maintaining its historical integrity. Even Russia commemorated the site by issuing a special coin depicting the memorial, emphasizing its cultural significance. Nestled in the Craioveni district, Măgdăcești is a village that offers a serene escape into Moldova's rural life. Măgdăcești is surrounded by lush landscapes, offering visitors a peaceful connection with nature. The village's cultural heritage is preserved through local festivals, traditional music, and dances that celebrate Moldovan customs. For those interested in exploring Moldova's rural charm, Măgdăcești provides a unique opportunity to experience the country's traditions and natural beauty. The Afghan War Memorial in Chișinău is called Sons of the Motherland, the Eternal Memory, and honors Moldovan soldiers who served in the Soviet-Afghan War. The memorial remembers 12,500 soldiers who completed their international duty, including 301 Moldovan servicemen who died in Afghanistan. It was opened in 2007, designed by architect Vasile Aremțiuc and sculptor Boris Dubrovin. Trebujeni, together with Butuceni and Morilor, sits on the banks of the Răut River, about 60 kilometers from Chișinău. The gorges here were carved millions of years ago by the retreat of the Sarmatian Sea. In the 14th century, this place became Shahr al-Jadid, a bustling Tatar-Mongol town with mosques, baths, and a stone fortress. Though the city was later destroyed, from its ruins grew the villages we see today. The Soroca Fortress is a historic stronghold located in the city of Soroca, Moldova. The first wooden fort was built in 1499 by Moldavian Prince Stephen the Great to defend a ford over the Dniester River. It was part of a chain of forts protecting Moldova. Soroca Fortress is a major tourist attraction, preserving the culture and architecture of medieval Moldova. Eminescu Square is a must-visit spot on the main boulevard of Chișinău, located between the National Theatre Mihai Eminescu and the Organ Hall. It is one of the oldest and greenest squares in the city. From above, Moldova's landscape stretches into rolling hills and vast fields, bathed in the warm light of sunset. Small villages dot the countryside, their red roofs and narrow roads visible between green and golden patches of farmland. Winding roads cross the wide fields, connecting towns and offering glimpses of daily life below. Scattered lakes reflect the sky, adding shimmering blue to the earthy tones of the hills and meadows. In the distance, fog and soft smoke rise from chimneys, creating a gentle atmospheric layer over the landscape. Fields of crops and pastures spread as far as the eye can see, showing Moldova's agricultural heart. Clusters of trees and small forests break the horizon, providing shelter for birds and wildlife. The combination of lakes, hills, and fields gives the countryside a peaceful, almost timeless feeling. Cricova is a famous Moldovan winery located 15 kilometers north of Chișinău, known for its extensive underground wine cellars. The cellars stretch for 120 kilometers, forming a labyrinth of tunnels that date back to the 15th century when limestone was extracted to build Chișinău. In the 1950s, these tunnels were converted into an underground wine city with storage warehouses, tasting rooms, and event halls. The temperature is maintained at a constant 12 degrees Celsius, perfect for preserving over 1.25 million bottles of wine. Some of the oldest wines in Cricova date back to 1902, offering a rare glimpse into Moldova's viticultural history. Even Russian President Vladimir Putin celebrated his 50th birthday in these underground halls. Pommer Mansion is the grandest mansion in Moldova, located in the heart of Răut Park near Fetești. It was built as the residence of the Boyar Pommer and stands as a symbol of Moldova's aristocratic past. The mansion features classic architectural details, reflecting the style and wealth of the Pommer family. Few places in Moldova carry as many layers of history as Orhei. In ancient times, Orhei was home to the Getae, who built a fortified city that thrived for centuries before being destroyed by invading Basternai tribes. By the 12th century, the area saw a new medieval fortress built of earth and wood, defending the settlement against raiders. The fortress was later abandoned in the 16th century as power and settlements moved, leaving behind stone ruins and traces of old defenses. The district stands as a living museum where each layer of history reveals a story of resilience, conquest, and renewal. Moldova reveals itself through rolling hills, historic fortresses, and peaceful rivers. The local markets overflow with colorful crafts, while vineyards and wineries fill the air with rich aromas. Every path, from forested trails to cobblestone streets, tells stories of centuries past. Even the quiet corners seem to whisper secrets of history and nature alike. Each experience, from tasting wine to hearing folk tales, leaves a lasting impression. Thank you for joining, and see you in the next adventure.